A Copernicus. I asked for a science ship and they send a Copernicus?
Shall I send them away?
No, while they may not be equipped to analyze Larimar, we can at least make use of their astronomical scanners. Really? Copernicus? Good day, Sven the Slayer here once again, and welcome back to Starmade on the Star Squadron server. So, in today's episode, I'm going to be working with my salvage fleet a little more. I've already got her built. My heavy drone anyway, I've already got her built and tested. I'll talk about it a little bit, and I actually recorded the thing. I was having trouble sleeping, so I started building it after I finished the last episode and whatnot. Actually, I think I did it back to back. I think I rendered that episode, tried to sleep. Actually, I think I mentioned in the last episode I was having trouble sleeping. Update report on that. I've been sleeping great this week, and going to bed fine, sleeping through the night, and waking up fine in the morning. So hopefully that nice, horrible stint of insomnia is finally behind me. But yeah, I went to bed while rendering the last video and went back out and started building my heavy miner drone, and I actually started building it. I was like, you know, I should be recording this, so I stripped it down to nothing and started over so I could actually have the whole process building. I just had like YouTube playing in the background, so there's like absolutely no audio from it, but I actually have that cut and edited. I just need to do this intro and talk about the ship to finish this episode, so I will get to that. Yeah, enjoy this speed build, which is I don't actually do much building of ships on the server, so I hope you enjoy. So here we are in the current final version. I mean, there's still some tweaks I want to make, some things I'm not happy with. Right away you might notice some differences between the speed build and the final product here. I've been messing around with the back of those engines a lot. I was just not happy with the straight cylinder. It needed a little more detail, but I don't really like over detailing things, so it's kind of a hard balance between simple shapes and detail. So I think my ships, I try to make the shape the interesting bits, so I don't need a lot of detail. And of course all my shapes are very basic too, but I'm not too... I don't like designs that are too grandeur. So I like it so far. I really wish we had like slab wedges so I could smooth this part out, but overall I think they look nice. I think I did originally have try the same fin design over here and just wasn't happy with it. And I like this. Protrudes out a little bit, has a little bit of thruster detailing, maneuvering thrusters I guess those would be, and the big main engines on the back. I really like the way they turned out. They're perfect to my style. You can also notice the pod has changed, so right away, I think even from the last episode to when I started doing the speed build, I changed the design of the pod to having the two black ends and just a central black strip. I really like this design over whatever crap I came up with in the end of last episode while I was extremely tired. So the other key feature of this pod here is it actually has a fullness detection. So as the pod is mining and getting full, I can see that it needs to be emptied, so I may not have to empty these after every trip. Only when they get to the final light here is they all need to be emptied. But I can go up inside the pod. Oh, I can't. I thought it was in astronaut mode for a second there. Inside the pod, it's just there's detection points at every arm, and I think they just control the logic. I think when this is docked, the logic is stopped or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to actually go into it and look at it. But I get signals from, yeah. Let's see, the bottom's the detector. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So the signal from the docking point. So every docking point has a button which actually pulses the ores. Because as you know through my testing, the logic signal from the chests does not work properly, so what that does is when this pod docks, it will pulse a signal through the ores to kind of reset it. So when I dock the pod, it'll make sure that this light is turned off. It'll probably actually get reset to nothing if I remove the pod and then redock it. Which we will actually check that in a second. So that's what that does, and the bottom one, so if it's docked to the bottom one, this will turn on, which I believe goes into a knot, which will actually turn off the storage tick. So only when it is docked at the bottom will it be able to pull, it'll be able to pull items out of this. So once I grab it with a forklift and take it to my station, and dock it to the station, it'll automatically pull the items out of it. And you can see I've already been testing it. it's got some material in it. I just wanted to make sure that system was working, and as you can see, it's on 2 lights, meaning the first storage system is full, and then the second one is filling up. So they're not. It doesn't detect it when it's full. It only detects it when there's something in there. We were having trouble with the full detection, so maybe I'll have to look into that, because that would be a much better option to actually detect when one of the systems is full. But it's not a big deal. I also painted the front here. I kind of like this. It's got the eye. Of course, they're signal lights, so they're red over here and green over here. And if you ever have trouble wanting to put marker lights on your ship, if you notice, I think if I hit, I thought it was F1 that unlocks the whatever. If you look up here, you can see that the arrow indicating your direction is actually green on one side and red on the other, and then it's blue on the bottom. But that actually will tell you what color you need on which side of the ship to be accurate to current nautical standards. Of course, if you want to do your own thing, that's entirely up to you. Logic is done. It's got fairly decent engines. We were in build mode. We can see, yeah, right now it's a 2.5 thrust to mass ratio. I think with a full pod it will dip down, so it is mostly thrust. I haven't built any more of these, so I really don't know how much they cost, but it's fairly basic systems. The biggest thing is the cannons for it, because it has a very big 300 sized 150-150 salvage array, and it is a single beam. So if I go into flight mode, it is just a single beam. It just pretty much instantly eats any block it points at, and that is because the AI right now can only aim one beam. So I figured I'd rather have it all in one beam and it always being used, as opposed to the other beams being able to pick up blocks when they hit. But it's designed to have 3 beams, so if that ever gets fixed where they can actually aim more than one beam, I can easily set it back to using 3 beams just by moving a couple blocks. And the outer bit there is green too, and I think all that inside is green, but you can't really tell with the green crystal in there. And this is a very similar design that I've used for beam type emitters in my designs. I don't know if the conflagration has this design, but the little brother to that ship does, the Wildfire. And I don't think anybody's even ever seen that ship. It was basically the prototype to the conflagration. So yeah, I like having that partially flat and then angle. I think it looks really nice, especially with this. The cowling looks really nice, and it does have a face. I kind of like that. Really like the way the wings turned out. It essentially looks like a big version of the ASD. It varies quite differently to the Fro, because the Fro is actually more of a combat ship, and we are drifting, which is annoying. But yeah, so that's the drone miner. I plan on having at least half a dozen of these accompany me every time I go mine, and the crate system works great, so I'll show that off. First, let's realign ourselves. I don't know why we were drifting like that. Must have been when I went into build mode, or flight mode, rather. So it's fully compatible with my cargo transfer ideas here. This is a new salvage drone. I noticed some bugs in the old one, so this is the new guy. One thing to know, in the current version of the game, anything docking to pickup points has to be factioned. At the end of the video, I think you can actually see me screwing up the docking because my pod wasn't factioned. So this guy has some really nice cameras and a new end. So I have this cargo pickup camera, which will actually line up to, so you take that green bottom arrow and you actually line it up with the pod, and you can grab it. And I did a lot of the side cameras are all the same. There we go. The bottom camera is I redid the whole bottom of the ship. It took a while to get right, but I have a display module there, and then there's a redundant display module just because so it has the symmetrical look. And it is definitely thanks to Toaster Borst watching his streams that I set up these cameras. He was setting up cameras. I've done labeled cameras before, like this one actually had labeled cameras, but I think when I tried having the camera like angled to the actual camera, like the display angled to the camera like this, it didn't work for some reason. I don't know. I wasn't able to have the display module here and then the text be visible in front of the camera. I don't know why that was. So I didn't do it like that when I first built this ship. But these cameras are much nicer. The two indicators there actually tell you how to land, and you can also use them to dock a crate. So if we what's the control angle? There we go, it's Alt. So if we line that up with the bottom of the crate now, we can come in and kind of have an idea, so we can grab crates without needing to switch cameras all the time. And if anybody has watched my live stream working on a freighter, you'll know that I've been moving a lot of crates around. So for this, we just want to go up here, and these ships would be probably in formation. So they would be AI controlled, so bumping into them isn't that big of a deal, but I should be able to do this without too much bumping the ship around. So you would just come in here, and I could use the docking beam, that would work as well. But you just come in here, get in real close, just need to get within 3 meters, and dock, and you see that crate popped out, and I have now grabbed it. I think I'm still docked to the ship right now, but I just have to pop that and undock, and I can carry the crate away. So you can see now the lights turned off. That's what I was expecting. So yeah, that reset does kind of screw up the output from the lights, but theoretically you would not be putting in a crate that has anything in it. You would just be putting in an empty crate, so those lights shouldn't be on anyway. It's just to kind of reset it. But once you have a empty pod, you would just fly in and basically do the same thing. So once I drop in, it'll put the pod in, the pod will get pulled in, docked up nice and tight, and I actually get ejected right off of the ship. So it would have been a little smoother if I hadn't switched to build mode. So yeah, once again, the ship should be AI controlled and in a fleet formation, so it should try and autocorrect itself, or I just have to give it an order. So once again, you just fly in, grab the pod, it's really easy. Once it gets picked up by me, there's a little bit of closeness to the entity, so that's why it likes to move, but it should grab it as long as everything is stationary. And then once again, coming in and undocking. See, that was much smoother when I wasn't in build mode. But that is the heavy drone. Heavy mining drone. And I've been blabbing on now for 15, 16, 17 minutes. So I am going to have to call it here, just kind of so I can maintain my Friday release schedule, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.